Oh,
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Dead Funny Game Awards. That's right, for 2021. Here we are, 2022, and it is a new year. This is back by popular demand. You guys were upset that we didn't do it last time, so here we are doing it now. JoJo this is his first time being able to show up. We apologize that we did not get, dressed to impress, but we're here. We didn't get it all planned out like last time. Maybe next time. So
we could have shown up.
We could have. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Chris being sick, it was just like, let's get the content. So
that's true.
I'll take the bullet. I'll take the bullet. That's fine. That's fine. Next year we'll dress up. We wore shirts. We had ties. There you go. Yeah, we had ties.
Perfect. Damn it! If I still had a tiara nearby, I've got a fan. I will hide behind my fan. Here we go. All right, Chris, what the fuck are you doing?
Right here. There you go. Boom.
I got a hat.
Let's go. Anyways, so we're here to do our game awards. It's going to be somewhat similar to last time. We had a good time with it. We're going to go over a couple categories. Our categories in order are going to be Best Soundtrack, Best Design, Best Narrative, Best Visual Art, Biggest Disappointment, an honorable mention, and Game of the Year. Once again, these are our opinions, so if you don't agree with them, get fucked. Sucks to suck. Don't know what to tell you. It's our opinion. That's what we're here for.
We don't answer to you.
Entertainment. Yeah, that's why we're here. That's why you watch. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get the show started. I'm going to start off with the first category, and then we'll just kind of rotate as we go through. Best Soundtrack. I had to put this game in this category. Absolutely had to. To me, a best soundtrack is one where I will literally go out of my way to listen to the music outside of the game while I'm playing other games. And this one takes it. Obviously, I could have put Final Fantasy down for this. I wanted to limit my Final Fantasy to one category, which I have successfully done. And it is not this category. New World actually takes this category. That's right. New World takes this category. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to different territories at different time cycles, because that's how many how many different tracks this game has. It's not just different territories have different music going. They're different day, midday, night. They all have different musics and shit that are going on. So it's fucking awesome. Highly recommend that, check some of these out because they're nice, instrumental. And every different territory has its own flavor. So you can be walking through Brightwood where it's all that dark, creepy atmosphere and they got some scary music going. And you could go over to Weaver's Fen where it looks like Louisiana's ass crack and they've got banjo music playing and shit like that. Yeah, it's insane. Like I can tell I'm being dead serious, and different parts of the region have different music. So yeah, New World had to take the soundtrack because as much as it's my favorite game of all time right now, besides Final Fantasy, I don't have a lot of confidence that this could have won hardly almost any other category. So they fucked this game up a lot. It's been unfortunate. But yeah, my pick for best soundtrack, Kelsey.
I have only one duplicate. This is unfortunately the duplicate. But I can defend this. So before you come at me,
okay,
I can defend this. Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Okay.
Came out 2021, and of course there's one other category that in my opinion this wins, but the reason I think it wins this is not only is the Legendary Edition, which is all 3 games, and it's got an incredible soundtrack that, I have listened to the Mass Effect soundtrack for years, the different battle music, planet music, ship music. There are so many YouTube playlists of the Mass Effect soundtrack. But the reason I'm really excited about the Legendary Edition is it also released songs that it had originally scored back when the first games were released, but never actually released them.
Oh wow!
And
nice.
Released it with the Legendary Edition, so there was still new music added.
That's fair.
And my husband put it on his phone, put it on the playlist that we listened to in the car, and yes, we have driven across the country, and it came up, and I was like, I'm not feeling this. Can I get something with words? And Scott's like, no, it's great. Listen to it. And I'm like, okay.
Better start writing your own fucking lyrics, Kelsey.
Exactly. So, yeah, Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's a good argument for the reason why you're using a game that would technically not be 2021, but is technically 2021. So I agree. It's a solid argument. Solid argument.
Thank you.
JoJo, best soundtrack.
Okay, yeah, I'll pivot so I don't actually have a bunch of things same game in every category also. So then maybe this was my second pick technically. I was gonna say Psychonauts, but now I don't want to. There's an original song by Jack Black in that game though. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
But let's say Death's Door.
It's
an indie game. It's an indie game. It's like a lot like Zelda.
It's on my list somewhere. I will not tell you where, but yeah.
Element. And it's a very cool game, and it's got a really good soundtrack. I don't necessarily feel as passionate about it as you two seem to, so I'll defer. That's a solid game, and it sounds real cool while you're playing it.
Yeah, no.
Listen to it in a car.
I think Death's Door would be a great game for Kelsey to look into at some point. I could definitely see you playing that, 100%.
Is it a horror game?
No, it would be. It would be a lot like Vagante. Remember our but it's actually done really well. It looks a lot like the old school Zeldas. It's a nice little dungeon crawler game, and you're a bird. Yeah, it's got a real not necessarily Tim Burton, but almost Tim Burton 3DS type artwork. Yeah, looks really, really good. I highly recommend that you look into it. I think you're a crow specifically.
Yeah, you're a crow. You're like a reaper. You have to go claim souls.
Mm-hmm.
This is grabbing Go ahead. Sorry.
There's a narrative to that why things are going wrong in the soul claiming world. It's an interesting little story.
Very interesting.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I would.
JoJo, do you think I'd like it?
Maybe if you like things that are if you like an action game, it's a little hard. Maybe I don't know.
I base it solely off of shit we've played on the channel.
Yeah.
I think you would like it. So Vagante alone, I think you would like it.
Okay.
Sweet. Well, in that case, we will move on to best design, and we'll let Kelsey crack open the first game.
Okay, I'm gonna defend my answer here because I really like it. Have you guys played or seen any gameplay of the game It Takes Two?
Yeah.
No fucking way! Is that your game?
Yes, it
is. That's my game! And the reason why this is crazy, the number one most demanded game that me and you play. And it's both our fucking best designed game. Both our best designed game. They literally said because of the whole shipping stuff, since the game is about fixing a marriage, it's like Kelsey and Chris have to play it. Kelsey and Chris have to fix their dead funny marriage.
There's nobody in the world that actually ships us, though. I say
That's
that
not
with
true.
full confidence.
That's not true. Outside of Dead Funny, I would agree with you. But for some reason on Dead Funny, that's it. So, yeah, that's crazy. That's our games. Go.
So we both chose this. Oh my
we
god.
both chose safe.
That's comment worth.
Telling you.
I've watched gameplay of it. I haven't actually played it yet. It is on Scott and I's I think for Valentine's Day we're sitting down opening a bottle of wine and playing that game.
You
no
should.
joke.
Absolutely.
But so many of the couch co-op games are badly designed. Like one person does everything and the other person's just like, I get to be a little sprite and help, and that's the best I can do. And from everything I can tell with It Takes Two, because I've watched full playthroughs of it multiple times, it actually everybody gets to do action things, and everybody has unique skills, and the skills and the type of skills you have change the whole way through. So it's not just one person is only allowed to do one thing. And that type of design being brought to co-op games, I think, is what we've needed forever, and I don't know why it took so fucking long.
I completely agree. Obviously.
Do you have anything you want to add to that, since it's your choice too?
I'll let JoJo go first, and then I'll get to mine, and I'll go through it.
I think there are other co-op games that do that. Like, if you play a Resident Evil game co-op, man, you're just equal people in that. Something.
I mean,
there are other things to seek out, perhaps, for you.
When you talk about Resident Evil, we got 5 and 6 are the only co-op Resident Evils that are out there, and 6 was fucking trash. Okay, yeah. So
not 6. 5 is a fun thing to play with another person.
I was about to say.
Yeah, right. I forgot. It's only 5.
I get where you're coming from. I just can't meet you all the way there. Sorry.
I was gonna say, earlier this is technically released this year, but it's part of something that is also like Mass Effect, a release.
Okay.
They did a version of the Wii U game Mario 3D World.
Okay.
But they added a miniature, an extra little campaign that's totally new to it called Bowser's Fury.
Oh, nice.
And it's like
Okay.
same gameplay, essentially, introduced into this little, like an open world sort of situation that is totally different structurally than other Mario games that they've done. And it works, which is very impressive because it's not the usual thing. And Mario works Mario's always very good. But it's just like a new take on the structure of it, and it kicked ass.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Scott and I just bought a Switch. Scott and I just bought that game. Scott and I just spent the whole weekend beating Bowser's Fury because I was just like, let's just freaking see if this is fun. And it was almost on my list. Like, I was trying to figure out, could I put that anywhere on this list? And I'm like, people are gonna laugh me off the face of the planet. JoJo, I adore you, and I agree with you that it was really good. And even that co-op function, I don't know if you played with another person, but it was actually extremely helpful to have another person play with you and do it actively. Like, it would have been way harder alone, and yeah, excellent. I totally agree.
Okay. Fair enough. I haven't played it yet, so I can't really comment on that. I guess to stay on the Mario theme, I did play the new Mario Party, which, I didn't want to put on my list because it's fucking Mario Party. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, because my family came up here, and so that's something that we used to do back in the day was Mario Party and Mario Kart. It's all we ever fucking did as a family. So I asked them which one they wanted. They wanted Party, so I bought Party on my Switch. And by far the best Mario Party solely for the sticker feature. You can you have this sticker that you put down, and like it just stays there for like 3 seconds, but it makes a noise. And I was Waluigi, and his was like one of the stickers is the what sticker, like something surprised you, and Waluigi goes, what? So I put that sticker specifically on speed dial button, and every time something happened that I disagree with, you just say, what? Like constantly. I annoyed the fuck out of everybody in the house. It was great. It was fantastic. I was like, it's perfect. It's literally fucking perfect.
Knocked son of a bitch. I
The
adore
entire
you.
time. Like literally the game, like we play a mini game, I wouldn't get first place, and like first place goes to this person. I'm like, what? Like got a star stolen from me. What? Like it was constant. I did it so much. And there was another one of like Toadette, and she's crying. She's like, ooh, like that. So every time I would do something to fuck somebody over, and they'd be like, you're such an asshole. I just do the like constant. So I switch it back and forth between both of them. It was so great. Oh god. But yeah, so there's my Mario story, I guess, because I didn't play the other one. But yeah, Bowser's Fury sounds fun.
That was a moderate disappointment to me, that game. They only put like 5 maps in it or something.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
These are all old maps. Just put in more maps, you assholes. Like, how is this hard?
It's fucking Mario Party. You've done it multiple times. You know what you're doing. Yeah. Okay, well, best design for me, obviously, It Takes Two. So I agree with a lot that Kelsey said, so I guess at this point, Scott's got till Valentine's Day to knock it out with you. And then we're going to have to figure out some time for us to sit down and play it. Because it is very... yeah, true. It is very highly demanded right now that we play it because they think that we are going to argue a lot and they want to see that happen. So it will be interesting.
I love that that's the reason they want us to play. Not because they're like, you guys will be cute and have fun. It's like, now you guys are just going to scream at each other.
It was either Chris and Kelsey are going to have a dead funny divorce after the game is over, or they'll repair the marriage. So I guess we'll find out. That being said, I have played the game. I have not beat it, so I will make sure that I do not do that. So that way, whenever I get to the end, at least one of us will know what the end is. Not both of us know what the end is.
Well, if you and your life partner would like to do that, that's okay.
I've offered it.
I've seen everything.
Right. I've offered it, and it's kind of, she's not a gamer. So it's just kind of like a maybe. Yeah.
Oh.
She doesn't game.
It's very funny that both of you
I was
playing the game.
I was playing with JJ. I forgot to start the story that way.
Okay.
It was me and JJ working on our marriage. It was great.
I was gonna say, like, Kelsey, like, it's about people who are getting, like, divorced or are divorced or something. Like, it's not romantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going.
I know.
They're really going through it. Yeah. So I have to agree with the co-op aspect that, yeah, it is very interactive with both players, which is great because there are a lot of co-op player games where you do get left out if you're just the odd person out. It's like, well, fuck, because I'm just sitting here watching you do what we need to do to get across this. So, yeah, that part does suck. Just how fluid the entire game was, moving from section to section. everything it incorporated. There were like nods at other games. Like there's this one spot, since you've already said that you've seen a lot of it. There's one spot where you're on this plane and fucking one of the players has to like 2D fight game a fucking squirrel, and it's actually done like a 2D fighter game, like shit like that. Just the switch in between the different types of gameplay and stuff you go through, super fucking cool, super fucking awesome. So yeah, It Takes Two is gonna definitely take best design, and I think they did a really good job. I didn't know whenever I first started the game up that it was the same company that did A Way Out. So that's very interesting to me. And I appreciate the culture that they keep trying to cultivate with people who really, sometimes you have a friend that you want to play stuff with, and you've been in situations, I know I've been in it, where like one friend makes more money than the other and it sucks they can't play the game, so you just kind of have to wait around. This is a company where you only got to buy the game once. That's it. And it's the same way with It Takes Two. So yeah, that's a really cool culture that they breed with that. So it makes sure that friends can continue to keep playing and playing and playing. You only need one copy. And sometimes it's just more of a family situation. I remember growing up and it's all like, do we really need 4 Xboxes and 4 copies of Halo and 4 of this and 4 of that? Like that shit gets expensive. It adds up. So and a lot of newer games have gotten away from co-op. That's happened a lot with it, especially with like Halo and stuff like that, where you can't play more than one person on the same screen. And that sucks. So, It Takes Two, best design, for sure. All right, shifting over to JoJo to start out. Best narrative. Best narrative, best story. What knocked your socks off in 2021?
This is the thing. This is like where I actually feel pretty passionate, is Psychonauts 2.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never... There's something this game does. Basically, it's a 3D platformer. Every level, essentially, is this kid who is a psychonaut. There's a thing they can go inside the people's brains, actually, and do stuff. Every level of the game is the brain of a different character within the game, and the way that the levels are narrative elements, like they are designed to tell you about the person you're inside of. Every level is wildly different, and takes you through this person's mind, and delves into these characters in such an impressive way. Like, I've never seen the gameplay and the story like tied together so well. Really, like, it's impressive.
Yeah.
In that regard, and it has an overarching story that is, it deals with, is a funny game. It is a pretty lighthearted game for the most part, but also deals with like serious mental health issue stuff in the narrative in like a way that's not heavy-handed and doesn't feel like it has wild tonal shifts. They somehow make it work within a game that is also super goofy.
Okay.
It's just, Double Fine, whatever. They're great. Tim Schafer, whatever, is just a great writer, and they've been working on this game for a million years, and it paid off, man. I cared about all those people by the end so much, and I'm like, was bummed it was over.
Yeah.
Now, I played the first one.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, as somebody who's played the second one, how they expanded? Because what you just said was true of the first one, too, and that was one of my favorite aspects. Is it just basically a repeat of the same kind of ideas with new people, and therefore new like visual worlds that you experience on these different levels, or did they expand?
It's like the overarching story tells like a way deeper thing into the origins of the Psychonauts, the concept. It's a lot about of it is about Ford Cruller, who's like the old man guy you hang out with, right? You get into his like whole tragic past with like 6 other people who were like the starting stuff, and also delve into like Raz's family history stuff in ways that intertwine in interesting ways. I think, the first game did a lot of that too. This game just, I think, improved upon it in a way. I mean, it also just felt better to play because it's modern. Like, the first, just not to get into like too deep spoiler territory or whatever, first world, second world, I guess, the mind you go into is one of your teachers essentially, and first you go in there and she's like this very serious woman, and it's a hospital, the whole thing. But then you do something in there that like breaks her mind in a way, and you have to go back in there to fix her eventually, and he was very careful is the thing, and was stingy and stuff, and it breaks it so that she's more into like taking risks and stuff. You go back into this world again, and it is now a casino hospital. It is both things at once in weird way, and like uh, and like tell a story, like go through how she has changed or whatever. But also like every level integrates weird things together conceptually. No level is just like, oh, it's the lava world. It's all like it's casino hospital and you know, other things like it's an alcoholic guy's world is a bunch of little islands, and then you go inside of giant bottles and stuff. Like I don't know, it's really complex in the ways that, and all very very distinct from each other, and interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Psychonauts was definitely very popular whenever the first one came out. I mean, I remember still working retail at that point, so I remember how popular it was. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a game that I picked up, but I mean, I've always heard great things about it, so
Yeah,
doesn't surprise me.
It was really great.
Doesn't surprise me. It was a good game. I mean, they took a long time on this one.
A long
So
time. They could have fucked it up. Like a lot of games that take a long time and don't turn out well.
yeah,
Right? And so it's great. It was great after so long for it to actually work out.
right. Yeah, absolutely. Sweet. Well, then I guess we'll move on to mine. Once again, I tried to keep this game to one category, and I was successful. Best narrative. Gotta go Intergrid. I have to go Intergrid. Have no choice. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrid. Have to. And this is the reason why. Once again, Final Fantasy VII Remake is a remake of an original game. And yes, Remake itself actually came out in 2020, but Intergrade came out in 2021, and it was a standalone DLC that was stupid fucking long. So definitely well worth its weight as far as an actual game to pick up and play. I don't want to go too much into it because of spoiler territory for people like Kelsey that are on the show. But for them to take a character that became a fan-loved character that had absolutely zero background, zero story, zero anything, and make an entire game developed around just Yuffie and how she fits into everything before it actually is set into motion was so beautifully done. It was insane. Like, this is what a remake is to me. To take aspects of the game that needed more depth and to give that to us without it breaking the overall story and timeline of the game. And they did that beautifully. Like, from start to finish, I enjoyed every single part of that DLC.
Yeah,
Once again, didn't play as Cloud a single time. Has nothing to do with favorite. Literally Yuffie from start to finish. They even added a character in there that I don't give a shit about at all.
Yeah, but that's, I think, is the problem. That's why I would say not this game. Like, this game isn't the best because who cares about the other guy? I played that whole thing and still didn't care about the other guy by the end of it. Like,
yeah, and that's fair, but I can't let that alone take away from what they tried to accomplish and that they actually did accomplish.
I just don't think it was like
yeah,
amazing, right? Like, they did, it was good. I had a good time with it.
yeah. I mean, like I said, I loved it. It was awesome. One of the things that I will say, and this doesn't spoil anything, well, I guess two things. One, the transition of the Fort Condor game I thought was very well done. That was very interesting how they did that. And then on top of that, my favorite part about it, which this has nothing to do with the actual game really, honestly, but is whenever you go to play Final Fantasy VII, the original, the Buster Blade is stabbed in the ground. You've got New Game Continue. Same thing with the PlayStation 5 version. What I like about Integrate is whenever you load it up, it shows the Buster Blade in the ground, and it says press right trigger to hit Integrate. You do that, and it switches the scene, and it's Yuffie's fucking weapon stabbed into the ground. So they did the same fucking thing for Yuffie, giving her the same respect. I was like, that's what's up, dude. That's what's up. I like that. So, yeah. All in all, like I said, really enjoyed the game. Thought it was good. If I had to do one thing to kind of shit on a little bit, they did a lot of cutscenes, I feel, that were ass because people wanted more answers from the original cutscenes, and these cutscenes left you with more answers than what you had before these cutscenes came out. So they literally didn't answer anything. You have more questions, not more answers. So, yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. Literally more questions than the first cutscenes. So, yeah, awesome. But yeah, that's my pick, Kelsey. Best narrative.
Kelsey, what do you think?
Oh, you guys know my answer. It's Mass Effect Legendary Editions because you get the entire Mass Effect from the beginning to the end, and that is an incredible story, and it's my favorite story ever. And so the fact that they re-released it in 2021 allows me to pick this, even though I realize it's a shit answer. So go ahead, throw tomatoes at me. Sorry.
I don't think it's a shit answer, honestly. I mean, whenever
it's a shit answer. Like, Psychonauts is a way better answer.
When it's a situation, I mean, well, once again, this is all opinionated because we're not all going to like the same games. So it's something that is passionate to you. I mean, I picked the Final Fantasy thing for mine. So,
So good. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, you still show something that technically came out in 2021, so
Yeah.
it's there.
Oh,
You know,
good job.
yeah. You
That's all
fit
it
the criteria. You fit the criteria. Good shit. Okay.
That bar's on the ground and you didn't dig. Thank you.
Oh man, it reminds me of this fucking song by this artist named Hobson that I like, where he talks about like raising the bar for music, and it was like raising the bar for rap specifically, and he talks about Kendrick Lamar. Because Kendrick Lamar is a very short man, and he's all like, "I heard that Kendrick raised the bar for him. See but unfortunately the guy's too short. The guy's a fucking midget. His high is still really short to me." And it shows like this 4-foot dude holding this fucking metal bar, and Hobson comes riding up on a bike and just like fucking like looks down at the guy, grabs the bar, and fucking throws it. And I was like, no way. So you talking about the bar being on the floor made me think of that. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
When did Hobson make that statement?
Oh man, that was a while back, dude.
I'm just trying to think of
That
when
song
he
is
was
old.
deluded enough to think that he was like able to.
I mean, dude, Hobson's pretty dope, dude. I mean, to be fair, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Very good.
Let's see, when did Hop is Back come out? Yeah, because it was whenever Hop is Back. 2013. 2013.
Okay, yeah, I think he's a little. Okay.
I didn't know JoJo knew this much about Hobson. This is a whole conversation that we need to have at some
I
fucking
know
point.
about Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. I'll say this: Hobson is not on any major record company. He has literally got a cult following directly off of YouTube. He was the guy that was making raps and was getting 20 views here, 50 there, views there, and then he started this whole music chain called Ill Mind of Hobson, where he just talks about actual real issues and shit like that. Like, it's actually really impressive. And so he did one called Ill Mind of Hobson 5, and that's where he blew the fuck up, where like he starts off with talking to your typical white kid that does nothing but piss away their life at college because they want to hang out and party and be one of the fucking bros and stuff like that. And then the women who are addicted to drugs and just I only want to fucking be with bad guys, and now I'm pregnant and a single mom, da 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 da. And then on to the typical I want to join a gang black guy and da 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 da, and just goes to every single one. And it's like in the music video they can't see him, but whenever they start to do the drug, he just appears to them and then just starts shitting on them, like rapping against them, and like ends the whole thing up with like, the reason why you act this way is this new rap you listen to. They're all about fucking money, hoes, guns, da 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 da. They're preaching you this false fucking life and shit like this. Like, he just goes at it. It's got like pictures like Lil Wayne and shit in the background. Like, yeah, he goes at it, and it's
I just realized
very...
why I know who Hobson is. It's because the Insane Clown Posse has every year they have a festival called the Gathering of the Juggalos, and they have these infomercials they put out for them that are hilarious because they're like terrible. It's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
But Hobson plays at the Gathering of the Juggalos.
Okay.
And so that's where I heard his name.
Yeah. He's a big deal, dude. He's a big deal now. Like, he's got his own record label and shit all on fucking YouTube. He's got some pretty interesting music. Yeah, dude, yeah.
Pretty good.
He just goes after all mainstream. It's just all it is. So, yeah, it was funny. But I'm pretty sure Kendrick Lamar was like, all right, dude, you can go fuck yourself. Like, my numbers are way above you. Let's take Hyde out of the equation and look at album sales. I'm pretty sure Kendrick Lamar is very fucking far off from where fucking Hobson is. Anyways, back on track. Visual art is our next category. I'll start it off going back to the top of the rotation, and this is where Death's Door was at for me. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely love the Tim Burton-ish type feel to it. That's one of the reasons why I got into Don't Starve and stuff like that. I really like that art style, and it is one of those things where I do like it when games typically make you not be just like the normal hero adventure. They give you something kind of weird and quirky to work with, and it really helps like just build and develop the world they're going for, like with the whole Reaper thing, going after the souls and stuff. So that to me was like a big draw. Once again, I'm just a dungeon crawler type fucking gamer anyway, and as me and JoJo talked about earlier, it's got a lot of Dark Souls aesthetic to it, at the same time classic Zelda almost aesthetic to it. So that really drew me in from the get-go. So yeah, best visual art, I'd have to give it up to Death's Door. I really appreciated the time that they put into making that game as beautiful as it is. Kelsey.
I'm gonna go with one I don't think either of you have played, maybe even heard of. Have either of you heard of Lost in Random?
No.
Yeah. That I remember that game getting announced, then releasing, and then didn't hear about it after it came.
So I watched a playthrough of it because I don't have a ton of time to play games myself. Sorry, everybody. It's the reason I don't play with Chris very often. It's not because we aren't friends. This is a very pointed statement. I'm still pissed about that. I'll walk it off. But Lost in Random is... it's a very beautiful game, but the whole concept of the game is it's both a deck builder and a dice roll game, and it's this world that is ruled by randomness, and then, you know, spoiler alert, somebody's fixing some of that randomness. I'm just going to say it because it's not going to ruin anybody's experience, because you're not going to be shocked, and it's also kind of semi-revealed at the very beginning. But like the way they create different regions of the game and different issues in different regions and how those people express themselves, how like the art of the game is very intentional, very unique, and beautiful in a dark way. It is a little bit darker. It's not your bright, sunny, like happy colors kind of game, but it's just excellent. Go
Of
play
all the
it.
things we're comparing to Tim Burton, and I think that's actually the closest one.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
has a vibe a lot like that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
seeing that vibe, and then I'm also catching like a not 100% like it, but a little bit of kind of like Little Nightmares.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that too. Honestly, the vocabulary of the game is also exceptional. They have characters that speak in ways that sent me reaching for a dictionary, which is very uncommon. Not to be like an asshole for a moment, but not
I might
typical.
be too dumb to play this game. I'm just not.
You are not too dumb to play this game. You should give it a like.
I actually want to
don't know.
look into it. I 100% actually want
You
to look
might
into
actually enjoy
Oh
it, but
my-
you're not going to enjoy it in a crazy like. You're not going to enjoy it in a Final Fantasy VII kind of way. You're going to enjoy it in a like. This is some more fun than I thought it was going to be kind of way. But continue what we were about to say.
it. One of the pictures that popped up whenever I typed in Lost in Random is from Game Rant, and it literally is half of it is the Little Nightmares cover, and then the other half is that, and it says why Little Nightmares fans should look into playing Lost in Random.
It's really good.
Right on. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Okay, sorry. But yeah, no, it looks like a good pick. I would definitely play this game. It looks very interesting from just the screenshots that I'm seeing and stuff like that right now. Yeah, I like the design of a lot of the different NPCs, it looks like. As far as monsters, there's like plague doctor looking people walking around. There's a big scarecrow looking dude hanging down. The person that looks like they rule everything with the crown and shit looks very awesome and very well drawn.
Oh yeah. Absolutely amazing and extremely creative. Like everywhere that you go, you know how new levels and stuff like that, sometimes it's just more of the same old.
Mm-hmm.
Like each area is extremely creative in not only what you're kind of battling, but what the issues are and introducing you to those and helping you make decisions. It's not one of those where decisions matter, I don't think, but you still get to make these interesting choices that do have a little bit of consequence.
Oh, nice.
Now, Chris, if you were gonna stream on Twitch again or whatever the heck you stream on, I can't remember. But if you were gonna stream and you were gonna stream by yourself, I would recommend playing this game.
Okay. It's fair enough. Yeah, I would definitely look into this because it looks interesting.
Actually, hell, both of you stream, so both of you play this game.
Yeah, it definitely looks good. Absolutely.
JoJo, I think it's your turn.
Sure.
Best
Okay,
visual
as long
art.
as we're tossing things to games we haven't. Here's something that I would like to play at some point, probably when they re-release it a couple years down the line. Guilty Gear Strive. It's a fighting game. It's the Guilty Gear games. The Arc System works to develop it. They did that Dragon Ball Z Fighters game also. They have most insane. It is 3D art, but it looks. They frame it in a way to make it look like 2D sprites, but then
I'm getting a really big Blaze Blue, is what I feel this game looks
the
like.
same people too.
Okay.
The people who make Blaze Blue also.
Yep.
They do these things where like it looks 2D, right? But then in certain situations, they will pan the camera out during like a super move and then reveal how it is actually 3D. Like play with perspective of that in cool ways, and the character designs are just like insane. like and look like nothing else in some case like that anyone makes. Like if you look up Dead Man from Guilty Gear, it's a dude who's in a bed, but he fights.
Okay.
He's not in this game. I think he's in the last one, but like. Look, you look at Faust. He's like this guy with a bag over his head, but he's also a doctor and has a stick. Like, those games look amazing, and that's all. Like, and they're confusing. I don't know how to play them very well, but I enjoy looking at them.
Yeah,
Visually,
no,
it does look really interesting.
Yeah, it looks crazy in motion.
Yeah, it looks like an anime I would watch for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Is this built off of an anime, like these characters and stuff? Is this actually built off of a specific anime?
Been a fighting game series since like PlayStation 1.
Because I know Blaze Blue is, so.
No, Blaze Blue is also just, I think.
Well, they have an anime, like with Ragnar.
They did one afterward or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, like,
maybe.
They make game. Arc System Works been doing a bunch of stuff. They made some stuff based on another anime series, I think, at some point too.
Yeah.
I'll say they made a game based on that Ruby or whatever, the Rooster Teeth thing.
Well, yeah, they made a Ruby game a long time ago, but Blaze actually had Ruby and Weiss, I believe, both appeared in the latest Blaze Blue. So.
Yeah, so they are on top. They do some amazing stuff visually.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks good. Yeah, that's why I'm surprised that this isn't like its own standalone anime. Because fucking Ragnar gave me like serious Cloud vibes, so I was like, okay, I gotta check this fucking guy out. So I went and watched the anime, and I was really impressed with the anime. It was like a nice little short one-season anime.
But Guilty Gear is what they got their start with. Like that has been they've been making those games forever, and then everything else is from that.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks good. Very interesting for a platform fighter. That's the only thing that sucks with these games is like you kind of have to have the want and need to play this either one by yourself or have the friend group to help support this type of game. That's the only thing I hate about fucking platform fighters. I love platform fighters. To
be clear, it's not a platform fighter. It's just a 2D one-on-one like Street Fighter.
Oh,
not like Smash Brothers.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah, that's what I meant. 2D fighter. But yeah, it's one of those where like you have to have, like I said, that friend group. Like for instance, like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 got super into because I had enough friends where we were just had our own lobbies and just were circling through it back and forth to where something like Jump Force, the latest one that came out, it's like I played it, but I had nobody to play it with, and I was like, all right, well, this is ran its course, you know, so. Yeah. Same thing with Fighter Z, like the old school Dragon Ball Z games. Like we constantly buy the new ones because we're like, oh, maybe one of these will be like the last ones, and they never are. They're such a letdown.
At least Fighters had like a pretty elaborate story mode, like a pretty long one.
Yeah.
Been out alone for a while.
We need a Tenkaichi 3, dude. They had like almost every Dragon Ball Z character ever created in the game, and it was amazing. I had that on the Wii.
It's like, I could play as Cyberman.
That game was so good. If you want to go buy that from like a pre-played store or anything now, like the actual original version on the PlayStation 2, it's $120 for Tenkaichi 3. The other Budokais, they're still just selling at like fucking like $40 to $60. But like I went to a couple different pre-played stores and saw it on the shelf. They have it like behind glass. Tenkaichi 3 is like $120 something for this one fucking game. And it was my favorite because I'm
expecting JoJo to say like, I've got 4 of them right here. Do you want
one? I've got exactly 1 copy, I think.
But it's funny because like my friends hate this about me, but I'm the kind of person that I can watch something or play something, and like the odd person out will most likely end up being my favorite character. Like it's not a lot where like I choose the main character as mine. It's very slim chance that that's going to happen. So like Cloud being my favorite character is kind of crazy.
Oh really?
Like,
yeah, I thought that was all you were about, man.
No,
he has
not
2
at all.
modes. It's the sassy guy in the corner or the cocky guy in front. Those are his only people.
Exactly.
I love the weirdo. I want Krillin. I want to only play Krillin.
Well, for me, so this is where it's weird for Dragon Ball Z. Growing up, I was a huge fan of Goku because that's all I knew as a kid was growing up and fucking Goku was my guy. And as I got into Dragon Ball Z, there is one movie that came out. The multiple Dragon Ball Z movies out there, but there was one movie that had a character in it, and he only exists in this movie. And that is it. And that is my favorite Dragon Ball Z character of all time. And it's fucking Tapion. And it's because he's the Link.
The, like, orange mohawk?
He's the Link version in Dragon Ball Z. 100%. Has the ocarina and everything. That's my favorite guy. And he was in Tenkaichi 3. And I would fucking slaughter with Tapion. Slaughter! And that's why it's my favorite game out of all of them. Because it's got Tapion. 100%. Like, I literally would have neighborhood, like, tournaments where kids would come over to my house, and that game mode had where you could pick 8 characters and go get someone else's 8. And my top 3 was Tapion, Goku, Frieza. No one ever made it to Frieza. Literally no one ever made it to Frieza. I would whip all fucking 8 people with just Tapion, and then maybe they would make it to Goku. And I would finish them off with Goku. No one ever made it to Frieza. I don't even remember who my other fucking 5 people were. Because I never had to even pull Frieza out. It was done.
I did appreciate how there's a game that let me play as every individual Ginyu Force member.
Right? Right? Like Gudo, dude. The little fucking green guy. Yeah.
He has Captain Ginyu, and he has moves that use the other members. But no, man, I want to just be Jace.
Jace. Our Raccoon.
Australian guy.
Fucking Raccoon, dude. I'll never forget Raccoon just because of a bridge. Like, Raccoon rhymes with doom. And I was just like, this dude's fucking stupid.
Oh.
Yeah, I hated that guy.
So, point is, Tim Burton. Winner of Best Visuals is the concept of Tim Burton.
There you go.
Yeah,
Boom.
clearly.
That's all we need. That's all we need. All right, sweet. Well, then we will move on here to the next one, which is biggest disappointment. Kelsey gets to start us off with biggest disappointment.
And this is
Let's
where
go.
I started digging with the bar on the ground.
Yep.
Because technically, we've already talked about this. The game did not come out in 2021, but it came out 21 days before 2021. So I'm hoping you guys will forgive me. Cyberpunk 2077. Fuck, I have royally screwed up that name, but thank God I think you know what I'm talking about.
You screwed up the name as bad as the game got fucked, so it's all good.
Right. Like, I know, like, I think 2 people that are still trying, and every now and then they're just like, yeah, I'm fighting with a dildo again. And it does a neat fight with a dildo. And I'm like, it's about all the game has going for it from what I've heard. Like, that thing was just so amped. Like, before, everybody was just like, this is gonna be the best thing that has ever come to gaming. And within hours, it felt like that had fallen apart.
Yep. Within hours. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, I was not 100% jumping at the bits to play it. Just with how many times it had been pushed back, I was pretty sure the game was going to flop, and I'm glad I stayed away from it because the game did flop. It's at the same time, I say that, it's also made by fucking CD Projekt Red, and they're known for The Witcher. I would like to say such a great game, but I've only ever played Gwent, so I don't know. But Gwent was fucking lit.
You fucking love The Witcher. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Gwent was fucking lit.
Cyberpunk didn't have anything like Gwent at all. There was no card game.
That's why it failed. That's why it failed. They didn't have a card game. That's why Cyberpunk was terrible. If they would have had a card game, bruh, I would have been there day one. Let's go.
The game
Let's go.
was finished, and it was a bummer. Like, I played a lot of it. I played 80 hours of it or something, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, I was just like driving around doing side missions, listening to podcasts on the side because there's just like something to do with my hand.
Yeah.
Like, it was not compelling.
That's fair.
Sorry.
It's like, I'm 80% complete with this, and I should just go stop 4 more crimes or whatever the fuck I was doing.
Yeah, that's fair.
That game's ridiculous. I hit a point where it's just so overpowered that I'd be like, I get a mission, like, you can go with this guy, he's in this place, it's very heavily guarded. I had some ability to hack people's minds directly at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I could just hack it. I hacked a security camera, just get camera feed inside of the place, and I could see the guy and hack his brain from the security camera and explode his brain. I would just complete missions not even walking in a door. It was...
Sounds like some fucking Lucy shit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That game is not completely without merit, but boy, is it a huge bummer. It's a huge disappointment because it should have been way better.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. I wonder if companies will start to take this into account whenever they go to like really start hyping up their games. Square Enix, looking at you. You do this a lot where you hype up well before you should be talking about your fucking game. Well before. I'm not just talking about 16, COVID, I'll give it to you. But you are notoriously known for this exact problem. Usually the game pays off, but you announce your games like fucking Final Fantasy VII. You announced that we were getting a remake in like fucking 2015. Bruh. Like, it's been 5 years just for us to finally get the fucking game. Like, let's
and
calm
only
down.
The first third of the game.
And only not even that. Yeah, exactly. It takes 4 hours to get through Midgar in the first original, and that was the entirety of the fucking first remake part. Yeah, let's calm down just a little bit. Yeah, all right, good pick. JoJo.
JoJo, what's yours?
I was gonna say Pokemon Shining Pearl and whatever Brilliant Diamond, I think is the other one.
Oh shit.
It's just they've it's a remake of Diamond and Pearl from like Gen 4 or whatever. They did a remake of the games before that, Ruby and Sapphire, with the 3DS, and it was cool. It was really good. They did it like they updated it in great ways and added stuff to it, and so that was like a real good game. And then this one, they just did the most bare bones, like make it 3D, nothing else. Like they put very little effort into it. In some ways, I think it actually has less stuff than like Platinum did, which is like the third version. Pokemon games are a mess. But like it's just so phoned in. I started to play it and it's like kind of did pretty quick.
It's fair.
It was a bummer, man, because those were my favorite ones back when it happened.
Yeah.
Really? Those were your favorites, and then they were just like,
Well, I mean,
eh.
yeah, that was 16 years ago. Yeah, it's fine.
Some things don't
I was a
need a
child.
remake, man. Some things just don't need to be remade. Like,
No.
It happens.
No,
Some
they
things
could've-
don't need a shit remake. There's a big
That's
difference.
true.
They remade it, and what they did with Ruby and Sapphire was update it with like the stuff that was in the most recent games, like Mega Evolution and shit or whatever. But with this one, they didn't do anything at all. Like there were cool things in the newest game they could have adapted to this, and they were like,
fuck it. Phone it in.
let's do nothing. Yeah. So
It's Pokemon. People will buy it.
then they charge, and then also it's $60, and originally Diamond and Pearl were $40.
Yeah.
They're DS games.
Inflation,
not
bro. Inflation, bro.
Not if you're gonna phone in the remake.
Yeah.
Inflation, bro.
Making squinchy faces with that.
Oh, man.
So what do you think, Chris?
Biggest disappointment for me. Outriders. 100% Outriders.
Oh, yeah, I can't.
The hype I had for that game was at an all-time high, and the way it was pitched, and once again, a lot of people go, oh, well, Square Enix fucked it up. Square Enix only published the game. They didn't make the fucking
they're barely
game.
involved.
They had literally barely any involvement. So I do not lay this shit at fucking Square Enix's boots. But, that being said, to literally have a very cool concept. For those of you who haven't played Outriders, you are a group of mercenaries who are on a ship. There are 2 ships left of the remaining people of planet Earth. Earth is fucked. We've done fucked it into the dirt, and we're trying to find a new place. You get on this new planet. Your job as a mercenary is to try to make sure it's safe for the ships to come down and land, and then all of a sudden this weird fucking shit happens where like pieces of the ground start lifting off and there's this storm happening and you get shocked, and now you're known as, I can't remember what they're called something really weird, but like kind of like tainted or something like that. I can't remember what it is, but it's something, and those are like
superpowers.
The superpower people. So now you have like all these cool fucking powers and shit, and there were these different trees you could pick, and like for instance, like I picked the agility tree, so like I could do stuff where like I would throw a fucking knife and it would go flying through the air, and whenever I wanted to, I could fucking stop it in midair and teleport to that knife and instantly go down into the person that was below me and fucking kill them, take them out. I could literally do stuff where I could slow down time and pick 3 spots that I wanted to go to, and I would teleport, kill the person there, teleport, kill the person there, teleport, kill the person there, and then teleport right back to where I was at, and then fight the rest of the war and wait for that to cool down and shit. Like there was, and that's just one tree. There was
That
like
sounds cool.
there was like earth abilities where you could fucking tank the fuck up, jump in, smash shit. Like there was all these different abilities. The game was nothing but a constant just rewash of level, unnecessary grinding for ridiculous amounts of time, and it was something where it's like if you get far enough in the game, you can just grind this one fucking monster over and over and over again to get exactly what you need to give you the absolute best shit in the game well before you fucking needed it. It was destroyed hardcore. And it was
So
the
they had an
same enemies
amazing
over and over and
concept.
over again. Yes, the story,
But they had a
hooked.
shit pacing and like experience.
Yep.
Yeah, like that game is fine, but like it just wasn't very like the narrative was dumb. The characters all sucked.
Characters suck. You hated all of them.
I hated all of them, like,
including your character. Your character was like, it was literally one of those things like, and they could have played it off where it was like maybe the magic that you was in your body now just like made you hostile or something, but it would be something where it's like I walk up to you, Kelsey, and you're in the middle of fucking trying to make sure your camp of people survive, and you're like, oh, we need help, we got jumped by this monster. I'm like, hey, I'll tell you whenever I'm gonna help. Just unnecessary, just being a dick out of fucking nowhere. You had no choice. Your dude's just an asshole. You were just an asshole the entire time. The entire time.
Funny or anything like Bulletstorm that these guys made before, like the characters were all assholes, but like in a jokey way sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
This game just everyone just sucked. Like they were just like uncool dudes that I didn't want to help.
Yeah. And constant unnecessary deaths. Like that, like it felt like literally jumping into episode 1 of Game of Thrones for the first 10 seconds of the game. You're like, oh wow, there's all these cool characters that they're building. And then like within the first 30 minutes of the game, it was like season fucking 5 of Game of Thrones where everybody's dying. Like literally everybody's dying. It's like, oh, we got to go save this commander. He helped us out that one time. You get there. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Bam, sniper shot. Done. Dead. Okay, cool. Now we got to go save this one chick. Take the doctor with you. You get up there. The doctor's like, oh, don't worry. I can save her. Bam, sniper shot. He's done. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Everybody's dying. Like, literally everybody's dying. It's before you leave the first place. You lose like 8 major people in the game.
And the way the world evolved in the time you were asleep, like, to be like a Mad Max world, like,
yes,
insane raider people who like, that's why, like, they don't just want to kill you. They want to kill you and then dress in your skin and hang your shit around, like,
because it was like what, 10 years? It was something like that, 5 or 10 years.
Even, but like it was not so long that people you knew beforehand weren't alive still when you came out of it.
Yeah, it was like 2 ships of everything that's left from Earth, and everybody's like, yeah, we're gonna work together. And then you're out for like 10 years because of this magic shit just knocked you on your fucking ass. And then you wake up and he's not lying. You literally start off in the back of a truck, and it looks like Mad Max. Like, all these people are like, yeah, we're going to get you back to camp, and we're going to fucking eat you, and cut off your skin, and fucking wear it. Woo! Fuck you, dude. Oh, there's another guy. Grab him. Let's fucking chain him up and drag him behind the truck. Fuck you, dude. Like, it was insane. It was insane, the way that it just shifted. Like, it was insane.
This also sounds like, with what you guys are saying, like, exactly the wrong game for 2021. Like, the last thing you want is people being unnecessary assholes to each other and unnecessary deaths. Like, we don't need that in our media at that moment, right?
I mean, to be fair, we don't know when this game started development, so really it's not up to them when that comes out.
It's not like a Borderlands game, but without any, like, those games have some charm.
Yeah.
They try to make jokes, even if you don't like them.
Yeah, and this game did not.
They have a better realized world. This was just like... It was okay. I finished it, man.
I didn't have the strength to. I tried.
Yeah, it doesn't like wrap up in a way that's better.
Oh god.
I mean, it's not like the plot goes somewhere and it's like, oh, whoa, no way. It's like...
I literally got to the snow mountain where you go inside the volcano and it's a spider boss. And I looked online and found out that spider boss, if you could beat it in a specific amount of time, it dropped every important resource you needed in the game to move forward and upgrade all your shit. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm just going to sit here and fucking farm this. And that's all I did. I farmed it, had all the best shit, and I could just literally walk around just one tap fucking everything. It was just bam, 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 bam. Didn't care. Literally didn't care. And it was well before I fucking needed it, because that was definitely not the end of the game. Definitely not the end of the game. The only thing that really sucks about it is the fact that it actually had really smooth mechanics. The way your weapons worked over to your abilities was so fucking smooth and so fucking easy. And it felt seamless. Like all this teleporting around and shit, it was done so well that it would be a thing where it's like you get up on this fucking hideout and then or on this little dugout spot behind these bags or whatever. And then you see like 50 people come running out with all these different weapons to come kill you. And it was like strategic on how I'm going to do this and still be able to get back to where I need to be for my character as the teleport person, because I'm there to try to take out the top targets and shit. But whenever you're playing by yourself, you got to take out all the targets. So then it's like, how can I get these big guys out of the way, still make it back alive and not die, and then start to work towards getting all the other ones out. So there was like a whole smart way to play it, and it just sucked.
That's why I finished it. Like the part where you shoot people felt pretty good.
I made Gears.
Everything else in that game was bad.
Yeah, it reminded me of
Everything
Gears.
around the part where you shoot people, like, fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, big Gears vibe, and that's why I liked it a lot. It had a lot of really smooth Gears of War type play out. So, oh well, yeah, that is my biggest disappointment, and we will go ahead and move on to our next category here, which is the honorable mention, and JoJo will start that off.
What do you think an honorable mention is? Chris, you go
Okay.
first.
Honorable mention. For me, this is a game, the way I looked at it is a game that I know is going to be super fucking good, and I haven't had a chance to play it yet, is what I chose for mine. I haven't played it yet. So that's what my honorable mention is. Once again, that's just my honorable mention. It could be whatever you fucking want it to be. So
I'll do two then. I'm going to
go ahead. That's fine.
Did play. Honorably mention Wilder Myth, which is a indie RPG game on Steam. You play like a tactical kind of. You have a little party, and they have fight on tiles, whatever. Basically, the game has like procedurally generated narratives.
Okay.
And, like your characters develop relationships, randomly or through events. Like they go through random events and change based on what happens. And
Interesting.
You go through like time. They have children sometimes and children's characters. And
wow.
I spent like 90 hours with it. Like
there you go.
This year, it's very compelling. It's fun.
I think I'd like this game.
Like it's all like procedurally generated or whatever. Like there's a lot of different events that they've written into it.
Okay.
Happen, but there's no like single narrative or anything. Yeah, it's like there's a lot to it. It's cool. It's an indie thing. But then I have not played that I think would probably be on here once I get to it eventually. Maybe is Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker.
Okay. Endwalker. That's fair.
I've spent the last 2-3 weeks only playing Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, nice. Gearing up for it. Yeah. What are you in right now?
I'm in the first expansion still.
Really? Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, that's where I'm at before I stopped playing. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
nice.
So it's gonna take a while before I actually ever get there. But like, I've heard people talk about it so much as like that narrative of Final Fantasy 14 becomes the best story in the Final Fantasy series.
Yeah.
Like apparently, like the base game is like not that interesting. I got through it. I pushed through it. Took a while.
Well, that's the thing. You got to remember the base game when Final Fantasy 14 was first released. It was done by an out-of-house company, and they royally fucked it. And so then Yoshi P, being a big fucking person at Square Enix and an avid Final Fantasy fan, said, "I can do something with this. Give it to me." They gave it to him, and then that's when we got our first technical DLC, which was a Realm Reborn.
Right. So
underline the Reborn.
Really, I'm
exactly.
Reborn, and that's fine, but it's not that's super interesting.
It was like tying up all the loose ends to make the story cohesive, so that way he could then blow our fucking socks off with DLC. Like and the DLC's been great.
I'm 10% or whatever through the first expansion. I don't know how much, and it's already way more interesting.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, they blew.
See how it goes somewhere.
Playing the first DLC to Final Fantasy 14 made me go, Final Fantasy 16 is going to be fucking amazing. Like, if Yoshi P is the person that's doing it, 100% this is going to be fucking amazing. 14 is the whole medieval vibe. 16, whole medieval vibe. And this is his chance to actually make a story on his own time. Fuck yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, completely agree with you. At some point, I would like to get through Endwalker as well. I've heard nothing but absolutely amazing things.
Even though it's like its own world, there's so many references to all the other Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, fighting every summon that's ever been there. We've got magic tech armor. I fought the Cloud of Darkness from Final Fantasy 3.
Yeah,
it's fun. So like, I bet that game is amazing. And sometime in the year 2023 or something, I will be able to comment on it for real.
There you go. Yeah, if New World ever shits out, I'll have to go back to Final Fantasy because it's an MMO. So I got to have at least one MMO going. So, but like I said, it's like I told everybody, Final Fantasy was the MMO that finally got me to really get into MMOs because I've been trying for a long time and I haven't been able to find one. It's like, well, Final Fantasy just makes sense. I love Final Fantasy. The combat is what can't keep me there. That's the problem with Final Fantasy 14 for me. The combat is stupid slow. I don't like the fact that I can run up on an enemy, we lock onto each other, and if he goes to attack me and I dodge, I'm still going to take the damage no matter where I'm at. It doesn't matter because it's a lock-on system. Why do I even have a dodge?
Yeah,
You
what's
know
the
what I
value
mean?
of that at that
There's
point?
zero
You
value.
kind of don't. You can just walk around.
Yeah, you can walk around, but you're still going to take the damage every single time.
Positioning, some of the attacks you have matter if you're behind a person or to the side of them. That's the actual relevant.
But you're still going to take the damage no matter what.
Yes,
To where
there's no
New
avoiding the
World, dodging is super fucking important, blocking is super fucking important. Like all this shit actually makes sense, and it's got the hack and slash fighting style along with having like specific fucking moves and shit you can do. That's why New World won for me whenever I had to fucking pick between the two MMOs. This fighting style was a lot more like, for me, Final Fantasy is this. I get on the game and I'm like, click, spell, click, move, click, spell. Whenever I'm playing New World and I'm in a war, it's click, 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 click. Like, I'm just fucking at it. I'm dodging, I'm jumping, I'm running, I'm moving, I'm swinging, I'm doing this fucking move, this move, switching weapons. Now I got 3 more moves. I am fucking zoned in. Like, it is. I should have somebody record me whenever I'm actually shot calling one of my wars. I am constantly talking. Like, you think you've heard me talk a lot? Watch me shot call a war. I literally don't take a breath. For 30 minutes, I'm not breathing. I'm just talking the entire time. It is just constant. But you have to do that. Yeah, I mean, you're commanding 50 fucking people. You have to be the loud voice to cut through to get your fucking strat to work. So, and I didn't just naturally get that. I actually looked up great shot calling of fucking New World and found this one guy, and I was like, I want to model my shot calling after you. And that's what he did. Even when he was whenever he would die and he can't see anything, he'd be like, I'm blind, what's going on on the point, tell me what's going on at the point. Okay, are you guys winning? All right, sweet. DPS the point now. 5 4 3 2 1. Grab Wells, and he's dead. He can't see shit. He's just going off of information he's getting fed. I was like, bruh, that's my guy. That's my guy. I probably watched, before the war that we went and won, I probably watched that video like 8 times in a row. Because I wanted to be on the same level as that guy. It's insane. It's fun as shit. Anyways, sorry. Tangent. But yes, I agree with you. Endwalker. Super fucking well received by so many fucking people. I'm super pumped for it as well. So I'll give it to you on that one. 100%. Endwalker is definitely where it's supposed to be at. Okay. Well, then my honorable mention. This is a game I have not played. I've played the entire series, so I know I'm going to love it whenever I get a chance to play it. Just haven't got a chance to play it, and I do plan on either 1, streaming it or 2, recording it for the channel. Haven't decided yet what I want to do yet. But Five Nights at Freddy's, the newest one that just came out, Security Breach. Super excited, and the reason why this is an honorable mention at the top of my list for me, well, not the top technically, it's the second one, but the reason why it's so high on my list for me is because, one, Five Nights at Freddy's is a very well done horror game. The problem is that they've always done the same thing. You're locked in a room, you have to fucking check your security cameras, da-da-da-da-da. This is the first time we get a full roaming Five Nights at Freddy's. You are a kid who is locked in like the Chuck E. Cheese of all Chuck E. Cheeses. You have this fucking 5-story gigantic theme park inside where there's laser tag, all this other shit, and you are locked in here as a little kid alone with all these animatronics, and you've got to try to make it out and survive. And there's so many creepy ass moments. Like, my favorite animatronic that I've seen that I haven't played the game yet. It's like you're the kid and you're hiding behind this booth, and like all of a sudden, like, you see this animatronic peek over the booth at you, and he's got a sun face, and he's like, "Oh, hello, little boy." And then he goes down and he comes up, and it's a moon now. It's like a crescent moon, and his eyes are bloodshot red, and he's all like, "Do you want to play?" And it's just like, oh shit, let's go, that guy, yes. So I am fucking ready. New World has dominated my life, so when it decides it will let me play Five Nights at Freddy's, I'll play Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. So that is my honorable mention, because I haven't got to play it yet. I think that if I have played it, it would be a serious contender for what my actual game of the year is. So, which is our next category when we get there. But yeah, that's my honorable mention. Kelsey.
Well, now I feel bad. So I chose a game that I heard a lot about, heard a lot of people really enjoying, but I don't think there was any chance it was going to win any major category, but I chose it because it's like a lot of people really seem to enjoy this year. The game was Valheim. Like,
Okay. Valheim.
Everybody
Yep.
was playing
That's
it.
fair.
Everybody enjoyed it. Everybody, like, there were a whole bunch of updates. Like, the game kind of took off. I know a bunch of streamers and, like, major YouTube people started playing it, and then the game kind of, like, really expanded. And there's been 4 or 5 other games around it that did similar things, and I think there was a lot that Valheim did well. And the community really seemed to take to it, but I don't know that I don't know that it was at the quality that it would need to be at to be a contender for any of these other categories. And so
That's
I just
fair.
wanted to say, like, to me, an honorable mention is like hey, people really liked this year, and so that's why I kind of threw that direction.
And that's still like an early access thing, and for
Yeah.
it was a game that's being made by like 2 or 3 people, and then took off in a crazy way, and so now they have to like deal with how popular they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
I bought
Like,
Valheim
yeah.
when it first came out. And within the first 2 weeks, I actually bought an online server so I could have a lot of people in a server, all my friends come together and play.
Yeah.
We stopped playing a month after I bought the server. Haven't touched it since then. Game was great. Absolutely loved it when I played it. But I will say until literally last month, because some stuff happened with me that I actually had to fucking go through and do a lot of banking shit. Anyways, regardless. I didn't notice that I was still paying for the server this entire time. So I've been paying for this server that's just been there. $15 a
Yeah.
month on this fucking server that's just been...
Oh no.
Doesn't matter. I mean, it's fuck $15. I don't care. But regardless, it's like, I just forgot about it. I literally forgot about it. And then all of a sudden I got an email from GTX, which is just like, hey, by the way, we tried, charging your card and that didn't work. And we're wondering why. Do you still want to play Valheim? And I'm all like, I haven't played Valheim in a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and say, no, you can't charge my new card. And no. Sweet.
Have a good day.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where we went. It's great. Fantastic. But yeah, so Valheim, I can agree with that one. I think that they have a long way to go. But I do agree that out of 2021, all the games that released around it that were trying to copy the same thing, they did it well, or they did way better than them. And it is the first time, in my opinion, that we've had a survival type game that has taken a hardcore Viking lore aspect, which was very interesting and done very well.
And they had those tree physics I really liked, where I cut
Yes.
down a tree and sometimes it falls on me and I die.
Yeah, the trees were the
That was
biggest enemy
funny.
in that game. Yep.
Yeah,
The trees were the
like,
biggest enemy in that game.
The game had like cool weather and stuff. It had some like ideas that made it fun. Yeah, it was a fun thing.
Yeah,
And the fact it
James.
had a small development team, I think, makes it more impressive.
Very small. Yeah.
I mean, now they have these impossible expectations because they got such a huge audience and like the audience of people who play like online games now are insane and want new content because might create an
Yeah.
expectation that like, oh, they're gonna drop stuff every 2 weeks. Like, no, these people need to take some time.
Yeah,
They,
they need
like,
to live.
breathe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's to me. I mean, that is the death of the new age gamer is the I want content. I mean, something like New World,
That
for
can
instance,
suck
is a
off.
perfect
Like, no.
example where it's like people take 2, 3, 4 weeks off of work and then wonder, why they've thrown, a couple hundred hours within the first fucking week of a game. And it's like, where's all the content at? You played it. You literally fucking played it. That's where the content's at. It's done. And it's like, oh, well, they should have released this update forever ago. It would have been nice. No, they have to string shit out so the people who are normal will still have shit to fucking play. Exactly. Yeah, the normal average Joe. Yeah. That's what it's there for. Sorry that, you wanted to put all this time into it, but they can't release, I don't know, fucking $500 worth of content in week 1. I'm sorry. That's not how it fucking works.
No, it's not.
The game, that's not healthy for the game. The game's not going to be around for much longer after that because they're going to be like, well, guys, you'll have more content in 2024. See you in 2 years. Like, that's how that would work. And then you'd be pissed off about that too. So it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. But yeah, I agree with you. Valheim. Good pick. Good pick. Yeah. Okay. Well, sweet. Well, then we'll move into our final and last category, which is Game of the Year. This is everybody's number 1 pick, and I think mine will actually surprise some people, but I'm going to go with it. My Game of the Year pick, Resident Evil 8. 100% Resident Evil 8. I absolutely enjoyed every part of that game. I enjoyed the lore from start to fucking finish. I played it on every single difficulty, including the hardest one, and beat it on every single difficulty. I unlocked everything that I could, and I'm super excited about the DLC that's coming to the game. So, out of all the Resident Evils, 7 was my favorite, and this one replaced it. Half-Life, because Lady D is fucking hot. Anyways, but yeah, it's amazing. I really like the creepy village atmosphere. That really got me to walk into somewhere and just like every Resident Evil game you play, you feel like you have to watch your back. But there was so much unknown to go from playing a game that's constantly been zombies to this mutated zombie kind of shit to I now have werewolves and potential vampires and these weird fucking fly chicks and this fucking fish guy and these creepy fucking porcelain dolls. Like everything was different and new, and you didn't know how to handle the situation until it was too late and you're in the situation. You have to figure out right then and there. And that was the thrill that I missed in Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil. Resident Evil 1 and 2 were what they were. The remake to 2 was super fucking good. Resident Evil 3 and 4 being the fucking GOAT. It's the legend. It literally is the golden standard of what Resident Evil should be. 5 fell short of that. Loved 5 though. Fell short a little bit. 6, let's forget that even exists. 7 by far was my favorite, but where they fucked up with 7 for a lot of people is that it was too much on the horror gore side, and it was very hard for a lot of people to play and stay entertained, except for the people like me who thrive on that shit. So for them to go to 8 and me to not feel like they took too much from that, but still made it to a point where all the actual Resident Evil fans who aren't there just for the horror were able to play it, get through it, and enjoy the game and find that perfect balance in between. I think they did a beautiful job with 8 on that. So I don't really care for the main character because I didn't care for Ethan in 7 to begin with, but I still got to see my boy Chris, so I'll take it. And yeah, Resident Evil 8 fucking knocked it out of the park. Game of the year easily. Was not a hard decision to make. Yeah, that's my pick. Kelsey.
Resident Evil 8.
Is it really?
Yes. So you guys, nobody knows this, but the three of us talked about me playing a Resident Evil game for the channel for October, way ahead of us actually doing it. And I didn't want to. I was 0% interested, but I was like, I mean, maybe I'll play over and like, yeah. And then I actually watched some YouTubers that I enjoy play Resident Evil 8, and I have not watched all the way through, but I watched a bunch of it, got really into the story, absolutely fucking loved how everything worked. I loved watching them play it. Was like, I absolutely want to play this. So much that I stopped watching this particular YouTuber play through it because I'm like, nah, fuck this. I want to play it, and I want to know how it ends, and I'm not letting you ruin it for me. And I very rarely do that because I actually love spoilers, so I'm gonna have to pick Resident Evil 8.
There we go. Damn. I did not see that coming. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I know.
You caught me off guard. You got me. Damn. All right. JoJo.
Wow. Okay. I'll just say beforehand, I loosely ranked some stuff, a list of the games of the year for me, and Resident Evil 8 was like my 5th.
Okay.
So that's
respectable.
Not bad. Yeah, that game's good as hell.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It was really good.
Hope
the DLC doesn't disappoint.
Had to choose things that weren't this in categories because I was going to choose it for everything, and it's Psychonauts. That game's amazing. Can't get over it. My favorite game of the last 3 years, at least. Even it's good.
There you go.
Like you two, and I'm on board with Resident Evil to the degree that, collectively, I would say Resident Evil 8 is a fine pick.
Okay. Well,
if you want to put an official stamp on something for collectively us, that's
technically, me and you have already put our dead funny approval stamp on Resident Evil 8, thanks to
the
show The Verdict. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. I was very proud of how I did that. Okay, I would
also put a stamp on Psychonauts though, because I played the first one and I'm really into I'm excited to play the second one. I just don't have a ton of free time, and so I haven't gotten around to it.
It's the best. Everyone should put every stamp on it. But
that sounds fantastic. And actually, after this, I may go buy a whole bunch of games. I have 4 I want to buy.
Yeah, there's definitely some games that I'm looking into now because of People's Picks Tonight, for sure. And that's why we do it. now
Yeah.
you guys at home have a chance to go take a look at some of these games. Hopefully you were looking at these games as we were talking about them. If not, obviously feel free to watch the video again. That doesn't hurt anybody. But on top of that, also make sure that in the comment section you give us your top picks for these sections as well. Before we go ahead and go for the night, we'll go ahead and say what our top picks are. As far as a team, I think it's pretty easy, as what JoJo just said. Pretty easy to say that Dead Funny's game of the year is Resident Evil 8 at this point.
Yeah.
I think as for our honorable mention, I have to give it to a tie between two games, and that's because they were on two different people's list. One, the fact that me and Kelsey not only picked the same game, but in the exact same category. It Takes Two has got to be in the honorable mention category.
Totally.
And I would say that would have to be tied with Death's Door, because me and JoJo also had that game. Not in the same category, but we both had that game for really good categories for really good reasons. And then I would have to end it off with the last honorable mention having to be Psychonauts, because of your passion for it. I mean, you argued it. Your passion for it, you argued it.
I'm buying it once
That
we're
game is
done.
art, man. They really did a great job with that thing.
Yeah.
So, if it's a thing that has any appeal to you at all, like, check it out, because it is executed so well.
Okay.
Like, if you're not a person who likes 3D platformers or whatever, then maybe you wouldn't like it, and that's fine. Like, for the thing it is, it's perfect. They nailed it on every level.
There you go. Fair enough. Okay, so then yeah, that'll be it then. Our honorable mentions were It Takes Two, Death's Door, and Psychonauts 2. And on top of that, Dead Funny's Game of the Year, Resident Evil 8. Doesn't surprise me. It was a super well done game. Honestly, if just looking at the categories, it could have literally took away every single fucking category if I really wanted it to. The visuals were amazing, all except for biggest disappointment. Visuals were fucking amazing. Narrative was fucking baller. The design of it was great. And the soundtrack, there were a couple of bangers in there. There were a couple in there.
But
Yeah, there were a couple of bangers in there. I think if you go back and watch The Verdict, once again, shameless plug here. If you go back and watch the Verdict episode of that, the music that I used for the intro and outro were really fucking good and played off really well. And it had all the sounds that I needed to do, like the victory noise and the bad noise and stuff like that. So it worked for my purposes. So yeah, fuck it. They could take that too. But yeah, so Resident Evil 8 will be Dead Funny's Game of the Year. Super excited to see what this new year has to bring. So once again, make sure that you play in the comment section down below. Throw your picks in there as well. Once again, this is games of 2021. Feel free to rank yours, and I am more than happy to jump in the comments and tell you my thoughts and views on your picks as well. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. But other than that, let's go ahead and say subscribe, like, share. Best ways that you can help us out. Don't forget, we also have a merch store if you want to check that out as well. We have Twitter and Twitch links down in the description below. And at the end of this, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time.